we in the angelic kingdom are so graciously, gloriously, so incredibly honored to be watching over all of you now, watching this grand show play out, watching you in the final boss, watching you in the last few chapters. We are so excited to guide you through the crescendoing moments of your third dimensional experience. You are in the time that you have wanted to be in. You are in that time now. You are not in waiting phase. You are not in the sidelines. You are in the thick of it. Welcome back to Awaken the Game. My name is Andreas. I am here to channel the Galactic Council of Nine and the Angelic Realm today. We are in the middle of this election period. There is a lot going on, so I'm really curious to see what the team have to say today that is going to support you, the collective, our ascension, what is happening right now on the ground on the earth plane. I am putting out that this message serves you in your highest light, and I'm ready to get straight into it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's channeling. Just giving me a moment here to tune in. I've already connected to my team, the Galactic Council of Nine, and they're going to start us off, and then I'll channel into the angelic realm. But I always start with my team because they're like the home base. They're just instructing me to take a few more full breaths, breathing in the light, breathing out the light. Welcome to all of those that tune into this transmission. We are Andreas's team, the Galactic Council of Nine. And if you haven't come across our energy signature before, we are very excited to be with you today. We are inviting you all to recognize courage. We feel that this would be an appropriate theme of the transmission we care to share with you, because right now, courage is required. Courage to stay in your own lightness. What does that mean? We care to share with you from our perspective how you can support yourself to stay in your own lightness. And what we would say to you is that during this time, when things are feeling really anxious, heavy, where many are worried about the outcomes at play with regard to this election and with all the other pieces that are going on in your world at this time, you are here to anchor the light into this situation. You have come here and you are here now. And with this, we bow. We bow with so much love and gratitude at the capacity, the capability, and the necessity for you all tuning into this transmission. Those of you who know that you are beings of the light who have come here to serve the ascension of your humanity through this period of time, you are here to be courageous in this darkness. You are here to shine that light into this darkness, to continue to connect in with your own heart, your own body, your own nourishment, your own earth, so that you can be a beacon of optimism, of neutrality, of acceptance, of love, so that you can witness others who may have chosen a suffering path. Andreas didn't want to say it in those words, but we acknowledge the suffering is chosen by the individual to take the same circumstances, such as this election period, and to choose the suffering within it. And as beings of light, you know that you are able to choose something that feels better to you, that is more connected to the soul, to the fullness of you. So have courage, dear ones, in these days ahead. And that courage comes from in. You do not need to pull it out. You do not need to try and find it somewhere else. That courage is in you. You came with it. You knew it was going to be required to move forward diligently, day by day, carrying the light forward. If you call yourself a light worker, you may not resonate with that term, but those who do, it is time. It is time to be the bearer of that light, to hold that lantern. This is all we care to share today, and we are ready to hand it over to the angelic realm. So we will depart for now, taking a back step for Angelic. Sorry, they're out. They're gone. Connecting to the angelic realm. As always, the angelic team would like to bring in some light language. If you resonate with light language, you might choose to listen and to breathe with their frequency, their angel song. And if you choose not, then you can skip it by going into the timestamps below. Okay. Thank you all for participating in our song with you. And we use the word participation very intentionally. For in this transmission of frequency and sound vibration, you are an active participant in its acclimation into your cell membrane, into your own frequency. We remind you all that you are light, that you are frequency, and therefore, when you actively take on the light language, the angel song, as we would like to call it, when you actively take that on and you intentionally permit and consent for that to move you, you then become the same frequency of that vibration in the sound. And so in this way, the coding is in the way that the vibration of the sound interacts with your own body, your own cell membrane, we are saying to Andreas, and your cells absorb that into their own being, and you become that vibration, just as if you were to eat a piece of fruit and that fruit digests in your body, you become that fruit. That fruit becomes you. The molecules in that fruit they are no longer that fruit. They are you. They become you. And so in that same way, the angel song permeates through into you. And you can consent or not consent to that. You, as the sole sovereign being, can receive from something like a transmission from Andreas or another, or you can choose to energetically block that out, which is an equally valid choice. We want to reassure you that you get to decide. It is up to you to decide what feels resonant in your life in any given moment. This is what you are all moving into, your empowered sovereign state. We spoke to this in the last time that we came through your messages through Andreas, how now is a time period where you are being asked to choose the powers, who you give your powers to, where you give your powers to, or whether you allow your power, your empowerment to come from an inner place. And for those who missed that transmission, we can sum it up in saying that when you choose when you choose the power to come from within you, there is a great degree of sovereignty required. There is a great degree of accountability required, because you become accountable to your own vibration. You become accountable to your own action as a result of that vibration. And due to that, you become accountable to your own emotions in association with the actions that you take. Let us say this again. When you own your empowered state and you decide, I am not going to let an individual on a podium or that someone running the show, as it so to speak, the governments, the politicians, the kings and queens and councils, the Council of Nine, us, the angelic realm, when you decide that the power is not in the hands of those others, but rather the power is in the hands of you, in your sovereignty and your actions, you then must accept that you are accountable to your own actions. And you also need to accept that you can therefore determine your emotional reactions, whether you feel disappointed or frustrated or positive, optimistic, and loving based upon the actions that you do. And your frequency will always dictate your actions. So if you are struggling now, if you are not feeling optimal, if you are not feeling like you are able to go forward into the world, if you are in a depressive hole, as you would call it or describe it, we would say, rather than focusing on the actions that you think you should be doing, rather than focusing on what you're not doing, which then makes you feel worse, Instead, focus in on your vibration. Focus in on nourishing this vessel that you carry. Nourish your heart, nourish your body, and nourish your spirit. Because when you nourish yourself, you will have the capacity to have more courage, to have more ownership of your sovereignty. It is easier for somebody who has not nourished themselves, who has not decided to choose themselves first, so that they can then support others from that abundance within them. It is easier for them to say, I do not have it in me to do this anymore. I don't have it in me to be accountable to myself and my sovereign power, and therefore I need to outlay that. I need to give it to somebody else. And this has been by design, to make you all so tired that all you can do is come home, focus on nourishing your body with some form of quick food, some form of way to ease your mind through the television screens or your internet mediums. You do this because your body needs to relax and rest and decompress from the day that you have just had, so that you can spin the wheels again tomorrow. And this structure has made you all so tired that you've almost had no choice but to hand your power away. And now we're at the point, now we're at the sticking point where this system, this structure, this regime that has been designed to disempower you, to make you a slave whilst thinking you are free, this power structure is no longer going to be in its state. It is collapsing. It will crumble. In order for it to go away, your sovereign heart must step up. It must feel that it is capable. This doesn't mean that you are all alone. Quite the opposite, in fact. It requires you to allow yourself to be supported by your fellow brother and sister, by your fellow human being soul, by your fellow neighbors and community members and your family, friends, chosen family, those that you feel in resonance to, in order to sustain yourself. Through this time moving forward, there will become a greater necessity to have the courage to allow yourself to be vulnerable, to allow yourself to love others, to help others, and to be helped by others in your immediate communities. And we are saying immediate communities. This isn't an online process, because you can't feed yourself on the screen. You can't eat the screen. You need to be in a position of open-heartedness to others around you, so that you no longer feel that you are all alone doing it all on your own. Because when you are doing it all on your own, it becomes so burdensome to carry the sovereignty that you so desire in your fifth dimensional paradigm state. And it is very easy to say, I don't have the fifth dimensional paradigm frequency in my life. I have this nasty third dimensional paradigm frequency in my life, and therefore I daydream the fifth dimension so that I can escape from the third. And yet we would say, in actuality, to embody the fifth dimensionality, you must have this sovereignty in your being, because you can't outsource your power anymore in the place that you are going. We know that there is a parallel to the last transmission that we shared. We are coming in strong. We are coming in with the tenacity and the audacity to tell you that this is a necessity to wrap your brain around. We ask you to critically analyze what we are saying. We ask you to draw it into your heart and feel if it resonates with you. That in a fifth dimensional community, you cannot outsource your power to another, because that no longer supports the frequency that is the vibrational Andreas is really trying to understand this. There aren't many words that can describe what we are saying. The bandwidth, perhaps, the bandwidth of the fifth dimensional frequency is collaboration, is community, is allowing your heart to be nourished and supported by others and supporting others in turn. It is part of that because you are connected to your oneness, as opposed to, I am all alone, I am trying to survive, and in order to survive, I need to stick my head down, focus on the path in front of me, do the right thing, earn the money, and then I'll be okay to live another day. And I'll push others away and I'll work myself to the ground so that I can survive. And I won't have enough energy to be in this collaboration with others. And I will outsource my power to those that be on the podiums, the politicians and the stages, and have just enough energy to complain about it, but not enough energy to actually, not enough time and energy to sustain myself so that I can broadcast my courageous heart into the spaces around me, the communities around me. This is what is being dismantled now, right now. And it is uncomfortable. It is very, we are showing Andreas, it is like squeezing a pimple. And Andreas is sitting here saying, "Ooh, that's a bit of an odd image." And yet we are saying that is where we're at. We are at the point right now where the pimple has surfaced and we are squeezing that pimple and it hurts. But oh, the satisfaction when that pops. And oh, the satisfaction when all of the pus, all of the nasty energy has been dissipated, has been emancipated. But in order for that to go away, it must come out. It must be seen. It must be completely owned, honored, and annihilated through the transmutation that takes place by being uncomfortable about it, by seeing how it doesn't work, by going, "Ew, this is disgusting. This doesn't support us anymore. We must choose again. We must. And that is the energy. We must choose again. That is the energy that is coming out of all of this. That is what is emerging from all of this discomfort, all of this political chaos, all of this what even happened energy that is confusing all of your brains right now. And yet in your heart, it knows. Your heart knows the truth. Your heart knows what is emerging from all of this. And so when you nourish yourself and stay connected to that peace, you will find you have the energy. You will have the ability to move forward and be that light that the Council of Nine were talking about, to be that lantern in the dark, because it will resonate and shine through you because you have nourished your own cup first. You have been doing the practices that inspire you, nourish you, ground you, and fill you up. You are being asked to go within now more than you have ever been asked to do. If you dropped all of your internet and you just went within now and you stopped listening to Andreas and you stopped listening to all of the other channels and all of the other podcasts and all of the other social media shows that you have access to, you would be doing yourself a great favor, because what you would be doing is going within instead. Not to try and pull resources out of your thin air from within you, but rather to nourish your heart, nourish your light, open up that light through you. By knowing that light, by knowing yourself more deeply through that self-exploration, that meditation, that sound healing frequency, the light language, whatever your loving, joyous inner child wants, whatever wants to come through that exploration, you would be spending time nourishing your own cup. And in that, you are then walking forward, feeling like you have what it takes to withstand these trials of these days. We, in the angelic kingdom, are so graciously gloriously, so incredibly honored to be watching over all of you now, watching this grand show play out, watching you in the final boss, watching you in the last few chapters. We are so excited to guide you through the crescendoing moments of your third dimensional experience. You are in the time that you have wanted to be in. You are in that time now. You are not in waiting phase. You are not in the sidelines. You are in the thick of it. Be in the thick of it. Breathe in the thick of it and connect to your light. And as you stay anchored in your light, you will broadcast this into the night. You will shine that bright light into the darkness, and you will allow others to recognize their own light in the darkness so that they too can join you in your new chosen experience that you have decided to collectively call the New Earth Paradigm. It is not given to you. It is claimed and created by you. We in the angelic realm bow to you. We care to say that this is not all for our transmission. However, we would like to pivot to another subject choice. Andreas thought we would only speak to this, but we have actually another piece that we would like to speak to. In the coming days, there will be a quietening down